Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. I've got something quite exciting today. It's going to be physics changes coming to the game in upcoming patches. Check out how this AMX 1390 used its handbrake to be able to accelerate its turn at the cost of losing speed. You're going to be able to turn your tanks faster if you're willing to sacrifice the momentum of your vehicle. This also means that if you pick up too much speed going down the slope and you try and do a hard turn, then your tank is just simply not going to be able to do this. You're going to have to manage your speed better than ever to be able to make your way around the battlefield as effectively as possible. This is going to be a fantastic change for skillful drivers, as those who are less adept at getting around the battlefield are going to lose a lot of their speed. As we can see clearly here by the IS-3, as it loses nearly all of its momentum trying to turn a very hard corner on hard terrain. Now it should be noted that all of this is obviously work in progress. This is going to be coming up in future patches. And so there's very likely to be tuning of this effect, because I personally feel that the way that this IS-3 is slipping around is maybe a little bit too much. But without seeing trials of how these tanks were able to move around on the different terrain surfaces, I can't really be one to say, and I'm sure the developers have got a lot better idea about how these tanks move around in reality. Now, I don't have any footage that shows how these tanks will collide with other vehicles. I'm very interested in how that behavior will happen. However, I have been told that there will now be an opportunity to turn the enemy tank in a collision, and the difference in the weights, the sufficient tank capacity, and also the traction, i.e. the ground resistance of the vehicle, will influence this feature. When you brake hard, it also appears that it's going to take your vehicle longer to stop, and that was a rather unrealistic feature in the game currently. There are also new particle effects when accelerating backwards and forwards, as we can see coming from the front and the back of this T-34. When playing aggressively and treating your tank a little rough, apparently there will be less damage taken if you manage to land flush on both of the tracks at the same time. A good example of this we can see here as the Panzerfahr bombs it towards the slope, gets massive air, lands on both of his tracks on the front. Fair enough, he loses a fair amount of his hit points, but his momentum continues. And if you really need to get somewhere fast, then you can risk your tank to do so. And check out how the Panzerfahr slid along the edge of the slope there as it managed to finally grip it and be able to get over the edge. One of the things that I'm really excited about as well is that they have given hints that they are going to give us increased control over the turning radius of the tank. Now, all of you light tank drivers and medium tank drivers out there will know the pain of maybe touching your A or your D key a tiny little bit and your tank doing a huge turn. Hopefully they can increase the sensitivity of this without reducing the responsiveness. All in all, I think that the changes are going to increase the skill cap on the driving in World of Tanks. If you can master all of these little tricks, then you're going to be able to get around the battlefield a lot faster than your opponents. Now, while these physics changes affect all vehicles, they're obviously going to apply in different ways. The weight of your vehicle will matter. Its track responsiveness will matter. We're going to see ground resistances probably having a much bigger impact. And you can be assured that when I can finally test these features out myself, that I'll let you know everything that you need to know. But guys, there's one thing that I also forgot to mention. And that's this. That's right, you can flip your tank completely over and it will result in the destruction of your vehicle. And let me just say that the developers that sent me these replays really like testing this feature. Did you see how that worked with the IS? Let me just slow it down for a second. So we can see when the front tracks hit, it massively damages the vehicle, but it's not until the back of the tank hits the ground with the resulting momentum that it destroys the IS-3. No, little French light tank, don't do it! You've got so many reasons to live! No! So hopefully, this kind of a player won't be on your team in the upcoming patches. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And let me know in the comments down below what you think about these changes. Personally, for me, they're obviously not as big as 8.0 was for World of Tanks. But I think it's great that Wargaming seem to be making improvements to the fundamentals of the game. And let me know in the comments down below what you think about what you've seen in this video. Do you think these changes will be good for the gameplay, or do you think they're just going to be bad for the gameplay? And let me know your specific questions about how this is going to be implemented. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.